I may have the honor. I don't know. I haven't asked yet, but I'm making contacts, and you know I know people who know people and stuff like that through you know my exploits on YouTube and in this and such that are writers, that are published writers, and I was thinking about maybe interviewing one or two of them if they would be willing. I haven't asked yet, but for about half an hour or so, either on the stream or as a recording. And so I wondered if you guys would, you know, if you had one question to ask or whatever, or any questions that you know you can suggest that I would ask, then feel free to ask them. You know, if you wanted to ask a published author who's had some measure of success in the writing world, what would you ask them? You know. Oh, Frantic, you should have tried anyway. You should have tried anyway, man, because they're the important things. I didn't manage to write a product this week, severe inspiration shortfall, but that's exactly what I'm looking for, man. Hi, by the way, I hope you're doing well. You know, because I want to see what your writing's like compared to when you are in the zone, and then we can see if there really is a difference, or if it's in your head. I really wished you'd have tried and done something, even if it was awful, because a lot of times when you write something and you think that it's awful, might not be so bad, especially if you are quite a talented, knowledgeable writer anyway. So I really wish you'd have given that a go, man. You know, I really, really wish you'd given it a go. Your cave story wasn't bad though, Bagloomy. Your cave story wasn't bad at all. You may not have been happy with it in your head, but on the paper, it's fine. You know, it may need an extra edit, but you'd have written something that you hadn't. You know, so. I mean, you know, everyone's their own worst critic. Absolutely. It wasn't terrible, though. But you wrote it, and we read it, and people enjoyed it. Don't make me get the cave story out. I'm doing it, you know. I'm finding this cave story. Can't find it. I can't find it. I can't even remember what the... Never mind. Fine. Alright. I won't. I won't. Okay, yeah, back to the question things I was asking about. So in case you missed it, Frantic, I may be able to... have you know, get access to an interview with one or more published authors, and so yes, that could be. I can ask that, Frantic. I could ask that. I'm pretty sure it would be, you know, like friends and family, though. I mean, that's what Stephen King used, you know, his wife quite a lot for that. Do you know your video in narrating and how? Okay, cool. Because I have some questions of my own, obviously. And what I think I'll do is that I'll submit these questions to them before the interview, so they know they're coming, so that we can get good answers, you know. They can think about them before. That is, of course, you know, if I get anyone to be on here. In whatever way. Yeah, beta readers. You know, you know, we are beta readers of these short stories because we're the first person to read something, basically, other than the writer. That's what they are. Guinea pigs, yeah. So usually it's someone you know. Right, we'll skip that. Huh. I'm just taking all these. Okay, good questions, guys. So, okay, fine. Okay, I get it, guys. A lot of questions. I will like not answer, do all these and such. But I gotta. Hi 667. I'll decide type thing. So Joe, you're published. I'd have preferred, like, going back to earlier, a much more organic kind of, way of doing what you did. For example, because you come onto the stream and you subscribe, you follow, and I really appreciate that. But then I just see you saying, oh, by the way, come to my channel sort of thing, because you're interested in writing, and these guys are, we're all interested in writing, but rather than, just working your way in there sort of thing, saying hi, yada, 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 all about the pics. It's just instant, come and see what I've done type thing, because you've got a little bit of an audience. Obviously you don't need it because you're published, but just a more organic kind of like, you said hi, yes, you did say hi, yes, you said hi. But it wasn't long, was it,
The gods are pleased
yeah, that's
with
cool.
your sacrifice.
That's clever. Yeah, I get it, I do. Because I don't want to be like, the Lord and Master of all I survey. I mean, I've been doing streaming and been on, the internet a long time. So, I know how to deal with people and such. I've dealt with a lot worse. But at the same time, I have my own idea of, like, etiquette in how people should behave in streams and such. And a new person coming on, then within 5 minutes, like, come and check out my channel. In my eyes, it's not really done. It's more of a thing that, hey, do you mind if I, say a little bit about what I do? And then I write about this. You can find it here. That sort of thing is a little bit less in your face, if you see what I mean. I get it, 667. Don't worry, I've been doing this a long time. I have been doing this a long time. So, this writing thing, relatively new, So, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool, Joe. Don't worry, these, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. So, you wanna talk about, because now I'm interested, you want to talk about your, because it's a bit more organic. Been finding all writing streams and following. Yeah, I mean it's the best thing you can do, I guess. I mean I've kind of covered this before, and I want to say right now. Rube, I am a plucky amateur at best. I haven't really done much of note, but because of the situation I'm in, with having like a following and such, I'm able to host this sort of thing and you know, engage in these sort of dialogues, and it's the best. Beer, yeah, well, beer, you know, Rube likes his beer, apparently. I think I know that about you. I think it's something I know. But anyway, I just want to say that, you know, I'm not the alpha and omega by any means. But 67, it's really cool that you come and, you know, you chat about writing and such, because it does help. It really does help. This sort of stuff is really selfish for me, because it helps me get into the zone, if you like, you know, and just chatting about it is cool. At the same time, 667, you can surround yourself with inspiration and never do anything. So found a company self-published through. I think that's honestly the best way, you know, and just putting your stuff on Amazon and stuff. That's cool, Rube. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Start with self-publishing. Well, I suppose, you know, because if you get an idea that people like, people are going to want a piece of the pie, aren't they? Ah, cool. Alright then. Full-time musician. Another, definitely a creative soul then. Read the self-publishing could harm your chances if you decide to go. I mean, the thing is with reading is, what you're reading is, I'm assuming, one person's opinion / experience, you know? Like, they may be quite knowledgeable, but they may also be wrong, you know? So you can't believe everything you read. I mean, it's obvious, you know. I don't want to patronize you, Frantic. Yeah, how do you self? Well, I mean, I guess publishing yourself is the way to go. You know, if anything gets your work out there. So what sort of stuff do you write, Joe? Sort of genre-wise and such. No definite, yeah, because if there was a definite path, everyone would do it, wouldn't they? You know. I'm sure there are a great many people out. We got 12 questions. That's quite a lot. Many great writers out there who should be published who aren't. Okay, fantastic. You're in the right sort of crowd then, that's for sure, at least with me. Maybe not, Frantic, but they might pick you up, if you see what I mean. So they won't do that book of yours, but they know you've got a following, and they know you've got you know, an appeal to people, and they can read what you've written, and they'll say, right, you know, we'll publish anything else you do. How about writing without publishing in mind, guys? How was that for a concept? Or is it a bit like, you know, writing a song that you don't want anyone to hear? how about, you know, writing just for the sake of the, you know, fun of writing, for the personal satisfaction, for the joy it gives you, for the feeling it gives you, and you know, if you, you know, why do you have to have other people's? Why is writing something that you have to? You think so, but do you? Yeah, well, you know, so what Joe said there, you know, because if I don't think any musician ever, well, actually, can't be true in this sort of day and age, but traditionally, well, I think that people who enjoy what they do are better at it. You know, it kind of makes sense. Like musicians who love the music they make are, you know, the passion and stuff goes into, as I'm sure 667, you know, will testify to, goes into the performance, goes into the song or songs that they're performing, and so it is better than somebody who is just trying to be popular and you know, doing what people want to hear type thing. So just isn't really into it. So the same, you know, would go with writing. If you're writing purely because you want the satisfaction of being published, and so you're trying to tick all the boxes, and not for the sake of just writing itself and enjoying what you're doing, you know, isn't that like a major hindrance? So, in a way, isn't you know, your thoughts on getting published, you know, best to be put to one side while you're writing and just, you know, so screw it, I'm just going to write what I want. Just a thought, you know, thoughts. People would connect with someone genuine. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely. I mean, I found that in you know, in Let's Playing on YouTube. And I think that possibly the reason that I have such a nice community on YouTube is because I'm very genuine in the way that I approach the channel, and so, you know, people who latch onto it are genuine as well, possibly. So you could do the same within your writing, and you know. Nice to have some new people in here, I must admit, you know, 67 and Joe. Not that, you know, the rest of you are not welcome, Lothian and Got Drunk Last Night and Frantic, you know, you absolutely are, and Rube. But it's nice to get some different voices, you know. Yeah, Jared. I think the world's changing as well, you know, because with self-publishing, with the internet, it's much easier to get your work out there. You know, 20 years ago, you can't get read by anyone you don't know unless you get published, right? Be it in a magazine or in books or whatever, you know? Now, you know, anybody can make a website, anybody can post stuff on forums and, you know, get stuff out there and say, hey, look at this. Don't know what point I was making there. It's gone. It's hard to go through this sort of thing when. But everything you describe is mirrored in the music world. Yeah, you know, with, you know, YouTube and SoundCloud and all that. You know, you can record a song and put it out there. Exactly. Why do you think she's here, Frantic? Work's drying up. A lot of editing services that will give you free samples. I mean, the resources out there for writing are mind-boggling. The amount of streams that are out there, you know. I've noticed not too many like this, I gotta say, or at least, you know, that I've noticed, you know, in sort of European time zones where people just, because I see people, you know, with streaming, and and you get this. Just a moment. This is going to be a bit odd with the formatting, but maybe I'll do another one. No, I'm really bad at this sort of like on the fly stuff, aren't I? Ah, brilliant. Alright, this will do. Oh, for God's sakes, I moved it. Just a second. Oh, God. Hooray! Okay. You know, and you get streams like, and I'm not criticizing these, but I'm just noticing quite a lot that when I hop into streams, you know, you get someone like this, you know, and they type away, you know, and they're actually writing on stream, which I just can't get my head around, you know, like how anyone could do that. How can anyone? Because it's such a personal, internal thing. I feel, especially. I mean, editing might be a different thing, but I think I might keep that. Actually, it's probably the best thing I've written in this entire this week. But no one really like you know, discusses stuff. But then maybe it's not for a stream. Maybe it's for a you know, Google Hangout sort of thing. But yeah, you know, just a dialogue about writing, you know, and because talking about it can be a massive inspiration. It is to me. To just chat about it, you know, and just in a very general sense, sort of like like-minded individuals and such. Yeah, there is that as well. Absolutely, you know, put your ideas out there. But anyway. So hopefully this is filling some sort of void, or there just isn't a void and I'm just looking in the wrong places for this sort of thing that I'm doing. I don't know. So we got our interview questions. So the future plans for me is to, you know how this is on my VeraXLP Twitch? I'm kind of thinking of moving and creating a dedicated sort of writing Twitch channel. Maybe. I mean, I don't know what it would just put everything together if you want to separate it from you know, the Let's Playing that I do and such, and the, you know, gaming streams, and get a nice layout and such, because this is all right, you know, it's functional, but get something a bit more fancy. You think it's a good idea? Make it very official. I could start a forum. Yeah, that's the thing is with forums is they tend to die. They would I snore. We're just talking about future plans now. We're just sort of chatting, you know. This is a very sort of organic stream that we're having here. It's nice. Be aware of sharing ideas during the week, not streaming. Yeah. Am I going to game on Twitch again? I don't know. I mean, I like Hitbox, but there are issues. Here we go for a completely unrelated topic, so I'll cover it very quickly. But I like Hitbox. I like that it doesn't have the lag. I like that it's got the votes. It has issues for people, you know. People have stuttering and such, and it's completely random, and so you know, I'm really torn between the two. I could just stream on YouTube and screw the two of them. I don't know. But anyway, that's that one. So yes, a forum. I maybe at a forum. I want to be more involved and with Iosia. You know, I updated it today, but it's only to add the Hack Marrow thing that we did last week or the week before. I'm just too lazy when it comes to this hobby in general. I think people are more willing to visit and be interviewed on a dedicated paid foundation than LP. I don't think people would care that much, you know, because you know, I would explain the situation and stuff. But streaming is not the most interactive way of doing things. Never use Google Hangouts. Maybe something like that would work better. And more personal, of course. Maybe too much. I don't know. I never used a Google Hangout. I don't know who that question is to. 667. Fine. Enjoy your coffee. Ask and see if you would change your XRP rather than retail. You can. I see. These are bringing people on to talk rather than chat. Yeah, and actually, like, interact with people. Me? They're X. It's got an X on the end. I got a couple type thing. Because my writing's revolving around a setting more than actual individual stories, you see. So I have numerous stories set within this setting. So it's not really a book. It's a series of novella, which is, you know, my stories tend to be about 50,000 words or so. And at least they should be once they're finished. And they revolve around, you know, this place here. Hang on. This world. Which is still developing. It's developing all the time and everything, and that's half the fun, is the world building as well as the story writing, you know, storytelling. They go hand in hand, and you know, it's great. It's just I have trouble. The ideas are fine. It's just getting them onto. No, what do you mean? Yeah, it's fine. Just getting them onto paper is the issue with me. I have plenty of ideas and I scribble them down, and then they get scribbled, and that's it. You know? Yeah, I suppose. So I want to, anyway, for future plans, I just want to be more proactive, I suppose. I want to update the website more, IOC.com. I want to make everything better, but it's all more stuff, and I'm doing so much Let's Playing recently. It's difficult, you know? But the thing is, Let's Playing is easier than writing, so I leave time in my Let's Playing to write, and you know, I get the this sort of like feeling where I need to write now, but then procrastination, etc, etc. I feel like I'm wasting time. I thought, you know, in this time I could be doing a Let's Play, so I do another Let's Play, and then it takes the time from writing. So discipline and such, but this is all stuff that we've covered before. It's all stuff that we all know. The only difference is with me that when I procrastinate, I'm actually doing a Let's Play, and people watch those every week, and you know, and so I'm obliged to do it, and I enjoy doing it, and you know, the fact that people watch them is a big pull for me in that direction. Too many hobbies. Well, I don't know, just the two, really. Writing for any specific goal. No, it's, well, the fun of it is the goal. I want to finish it, you know, even though it's yeah, the bots in, yeah, the voting bots don't work. They're rubbish. It's just work is an inconvenience. You're right. What was I saying? Yeah, I like the satisfaction of doing it. So I suppose it is just for the fun. I just like the satisfaction of doing it. Seems to work on the food channel. I don't watch any food channels. Is this one of those eating channels? Well, yeah, it'll never be finished, will it? You know, world building and such. There's so much in it. Yeah. It's so easy to get distracted in this world. I mean, how do you stay focused, Joe? You know, because you've obviously finished stuff. to the stage where you think, right, this is good enough for people to read. Here you go. Read it. What's the best way not to get distracted? Do you think? Just dedication? Just sheer willpower? Actually, writing I don't find fun to do, mostly do it for the satisfaction of having finished the story. I was, you know, there was someone on here a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying, you know, if you don't enjoy something, then why do it? And, you know, I argued about the satisfaction and stuff. And, you know, you can equate it to... Everyone's got that point in a video game, yeah? You love the game. You're playing it, and you come to a boss. We're playing Dark Souls, right? Structure, routine, yes. Definitely, that's how it works with my Let's Play, so I'll just... I mean, I'm having too many conversations at once. You're playing Dark Souls. Anyone knows Dark Souls? Yeah. And you hit the boss, and you don't enjoy fighting this boss because this boss beats you over and over and over again, no matter how you try. You know, the boss just beats you, and it's so unfair, and you're like, oh god, this game sucks, yada yada yada, but you keep going back to it. And you beat the boss, and, you know, you're like, yes, I beat the boss. Satisfaction, I beat Orstein and Smaug, or whatever they are. I worked so hard to do that, and I got to the end, and I got through it, and that's amazing. And that's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Writing might be a little more complicated, a little more drawn out, but the feeling at the end is 10 times that. With the routine, I used to have a routine, and I need to get back into it, especially with writing, and it used to be a solid outline for a book helps me. That's part of the next thing, which is, you know, how much do you plan? So that helps as well. And there's so many questions into the routine, you know, like how much should you write, or how much, yeah. Do you set your, this isn't specifically at Joe, but you can answer these questions if you want. Do you set yourself like a time, you know, like I'm going to write for half an hour every day, I'm going to write for 2 hours on this day? Or do you set yourself a word count and think, well, you can't write a whole book in one session, no. You don't. Oh, I see, no, you're talking about the plan, yeah, it's a Twitch delay, sorry. So, I mean, do you set yourself a word count? Do you say, and do you do it like, I'm going to write once a week, so I have time to sort of like think about it. I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to have a day off every other day, you know. Put it a chapter at a time. So that's two entirely different things. I don't outline at all. I just do it, and then Joe's like, I have complete outline, solid outline. Anyway, solid outline. Treat it like a job. Well, you say a word count might be tricky, but if you say I'm going to write for an hour, but you've got a word block, you're going to sit there for 50 minutes writing nothing. So maybe it's best to say. I mean, is it best when you've got writer's block to step away, or maybe it's best to just push through it and break through that wall? But yeah, it depends on the person. It always depends. Again, there's no set rule, because if there was, everybody would do it. Should write through your block and come back. Like, that is exactly what I did in Darkness Dawns. Exactly what I did in Darkness Dawns. I think it's a testament to writer's block is the end. It was fine, wall, ending. But the fact with Darkness Dawns is that even though I hate the ending, and I put it out there, it's done. You know, you can fill out the setting. Yeah, I mean, you get the actions of the characters done, don't you? Step away from what I'm doing and find inspiration. Hmm. Because if I try and do it too much, I overkill it. So it's finding the balance. Now I gotta say, I think, as far as my future plans, oh, you can jump between the stories. That's really clever. You know what? I never thought about doing that. Despite all my ideas about this world that, you know, I've created, and, you know, working on everything, I never thought about working on 2 stories at the same time. This is a bit, no, it's a bit of a boring bit of the map. We'll go to Aon. But yeah, I never thought about writing 2 at the same time. But I used to update the website every week, and that really worked for me. And honestly, I think from this week onwards, Sunday mornings, I'm going to do something for the website. Because that did work for me. Just a random thing, anything. Just get something on the website, get updates. Yeah, well, I do agree, 667. I think that's probably the best way of going about it, because you can walk away and never come back, can't you? And, you know, I'm sure we've all done that. Best to just go with it. Having a certain amount of time where you can either write or do absolutely nothing, making no distraction. Right, I see. Hi, Raspugast, by the way. Hello, Raspugast. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. No, it's not. I get drunk on Friday nights. Because I take my mum shopping on Sunday mornings at 10 in the morning. So generally I don't get drunk on Saturdays because of that, because I'm driving and such. So that gap in the morning, it's a bit of dead time for me. Normally I have like a lie-in or something, you know. I could write then, and I did used to write then. And it's interesting as well because I know I have to stop at 10 or just before it. So I'm writing to a deadline, and I'm thinking I really need to get this finished, you know. And it's a boost to have that point where I have to stop. See, just verbalizing stuff helps. And every writing stream from now on, there will be a little segment saying what I did on Sunday morning. So, but yeah, Saturday is complete wipeout sometimes. I do have friends coming over this Saturday though, and I'm not taking my mum shopping on Sunday, so I might start that the week after next. It's my birthday soon, so they're coming around for that. But I don't think it's going to be a heavy night because we're going to play games and stuff, you know. And you know, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, don't you say? Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing about NaNoWriMo tells you it is that you've got to admit you're going to write crap and just write the bloody thing. NaNoWriMo. It holds you accountable. Exactly, and that is exactly the same as my Let's Playing. And as people who watch my Let's Plays will know on YouTube, I very, very rarely miss an upload. Ridiculously rarely. I upload every day, almost. All year. Except at Christmas and Easter. And that's because people watch them and I'm accountable, you know? So, take that, put it in this Sundays, the Sunday Tuesday thing, you know? Yeah, frantic. But not this week, eh? Not this week. So yeah, this is all my future plans, and it's really good to talk to you guys about it. I know this is almost kind of self-indulgent, but I hope it's helping you guys as well. It's certainly helping me to get some sort of routine and accountability to stuff, to things. So, shall we move on? total bust. Because this kind of follows on quite nicely. How much do you plan? Now 667. Very little plan. Joe has a solid plan. How much do you plan? How much should you plan? You know? Your thoughts, everyone. Even lowly scallywags like us, Joe. That's generous of you, thank you. I count myself as a lowly scallywag. I don't want to drag other people in. See, I think a complete outline will be helpful for most people. I think it is for me. Just trying to find something. I can never find anything. I get bored if I already know everything and how it's going to be. Never planned a story in my life. Usually just write and see what naturally comes out, then make it not terrible. The thing is with not planning though, because I'm kind of in the middle, guys. I'm kind of in the middle with my writing. I have a very vague idea, and I write to fill in the gaps. And sometimes I'm writing and I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. And sometimes I've had to stop and think, what the hell is going on? And I have to stop writing and just think and go, I have no idea how my character is going to get out of this, what's going to happen next and such. I know that happened with my story called The Boy. I reached the a stage where I was like, well, how is all this going to come together? I don't and I used the technique where you put all the keywords onto cards, and I laid them out on a table, and they were characters and they were sort of like plot devices and such. And I said, well, how does all this come together? And I laid them all out, and I realized there was an element missing, right sort of in the middle, if you like. And so I added that, and then there it was. That's what I need to do, and so I could go back to writing again. And I think The Boy is quite a good story. Like if someone was going to like read something of mine, I would say read The Boy, even though it's not necessarily representative of what I normally write. I think I enjoyed writing that more than the other stuff that I've done. But anyway, what are you guys saying? Are we not talking about making time planning, are we? Kind of. I think I'm getting published in terms of an MMO. It's like hitting the max level. I see. I can certainly see the validity in planning everything. I definitely get that. Absolutely. Please do. Got drunk last night. Please do. I always appreciate feedback. I've got a lot from a user called... I can't remember his name. That's really bad of me. God, I feel really bad. It's just it escapes right now. But yeah, he was really good at giving me... he has a few aliases, so I don't remember which one he uses here. But yeah, he gave me a lot of advice on my writing and such, which really has helped. Yeah, I can't find what I was looking for. It doesn't matter, but yeah, I certainly see the planning extensively, I suppose. I like the word solid that Joe used. I like the word solid. You know, getting a solid plan. But again, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. How much detail do you go into? Like, do you get to the point where you're spending more time writing the plan than the actual story? I mean, you could, couldn't you? Absolutely could. But wouldn't that make it easier to write when you do write it? That you've got everything down, that you know what's going to happen, you know what the characters are going to feel, not really necessarily what they're going to say, because I doubt you'll go to the stage of writing conversations, but you'll have a very good, concise idea about what's happening within your story. You'll have nothing to wonder about, and then so you can just concentrate on what you're writing as opposed to what you're going to write. Plan out a plot, then each chapter I plan out the details to follow, then I write each chapter. I don't have to do by just winging otherwise. It's a solid idea, that, isn't it? It's a very reasonable way to approach writing a book. I often know the end, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. Like, I know how I want it to end with a story idea, which is the what I'm writing now, which is Nerolith. I say I'm writing it. I haven't written it for a little bit of a while, but try not to linger too long at this stage. Well, you know, again, it's very much your own choice, isn't it? It's what works for you. Which is why I put how much do you plan? No, how much should you plan? I'm just getting the consensus, you know, just general, not even a consensus, you know, because that's trying to reach a decision. You know, what people do. We've got everything from I don't really plan anything to, you know, a couple of major events, which is how I used to do it, to a rough synopsis, and try to not to linger on too long at this stage. I mean, if you don't plan, it's harder, just by extension, I guess, to have twists, isn't it? You know? Because good twists, the really, really good twists, you've got a plan for. I mean, I think some of the, you know, the best twists were what the story was written. I can't give you any examples at all, but you know, if you know that shock at the end, that revelation, it was all a dream, or whatever. You've got to know that at the start, right? In order to have it work, possibly. Or can you just pull a twist on yourself? But then, how do you know it's going to work? You know. It's hard to pull out, you know, to give examples because, you know, spoilers. Why to plan certain details over time? Just wander the path too much. Yeah. Yeah, got drunk last night, yeah. You'd always go back to make it. Yes. That's a lot of work, though. It can be a lot of work to do it that way. Waggy. But you could. But it's probably easier to know you're going to do it. But I can definitely say that it will definitely be easier to know that, you know, your twist is going to be there, your revelation at the end, so you don't have to go back and change things. But you certainly could, you know, if you're suddenly hit with a bolt of inspiration, you know, and in the last sixth of the book, thinking, whoa, what if it was like this all along? And then you put it in. You know, you fooled yourself then, you know, in a way. But you'd have to go back and see how it would be very difficult. It would be really difficult. This is the thing with twists, and it's something that I've never done, as far as I know, is because you'd have to go back to it, knowing there's a twist, but trying to forget about it. You know, so it's like, well, I know this, but the reader's not going to know it. So how do I put it in so there's maybe a hint, or I'll change this so it's not obvious, but at the same time I have to change it because it's this doesn't work anymore because this is true, but doing it in such a way that it's not obvious when I know it's there. And how do I read this from a perspective of not knowing what I know? Does that make sense? Because it did in my head, but you can't forget the twist. So I think, you know, it's probably best. Maybe. Yes. Maybe it is. But the thing is, he can't go back and edit, can he? So, by the way, that thing in book 2, yeah, sorry, no, that doesn't apply anymore. Just forget book 2. I'm gonna redo book 2 because, you know, you know. So, do you get what I'm saying? Book 2 was a dream. Yeah, just forget it. Just didn't happen. Just. So yeah, in order to have a good twist, I think you need to know about it before you start writing. Honestly, or at least be really, really early with it. Let's not say you can't, but it'd be really difficult to edit it. You know, and change things without making it obvious and such, you know. I'm just repeating myself, but, you know, nobody said it was wrong there, so... So how much do you plan? It varies. We can surmise, you know, in conclusion. It depends what sort of writer you are, because, you know, there are architects and there are gardeners, as we have established before. And architects like to plot everything out properly and have a clear plan and a clear path and know what's going to happen, when, to who, and how it's going to affect other things. And other people are gardeners, and they just kind of like just trim away and just let things grow, and, you know, just like cut that back and let that go there and whatever. And, oh, we'll put that there, see what that looks like. And, you know, there's no wrong or right way to do it, I suppose. From my part, I'm not sure which one I am. I used to be more of a gardener, but I think I'm becoming more of an architectural sort of gardener, and getting sort of like meshing between the two. So I'm going to get the broad outline. Longer the writing, no planning is needed. That's very true. Yeah. Because I know for Twisted Fates, what I did for that was, and that was a long time ago I wrote that, but I planned a little bit ahead, but not too much. A landscape gardener, I like that, yeah. So I knew what I was going to write for the next couple of chapters, so I wrote that. And sometimes as you're writing, better ideas can maybe come into your head, which is what happened. And, you know, because I think Twisted Fates story that I wrote, you know, has some neat little things in it. If you're a gardener, I think you tend to leave things open a bit more, especially early in the book. You know, you sort of, I at least, you know, give myself more assets. I like calling them assets. You know, characters are assets, so you tend to kill people off a little less. Characters don't tend to die early anyway, but you know, you sort of wanders off, whatever. You leave it open. Maybe they can come back, you know, and that'll help me later, because it's something I can bring back into the story if I need something else to sort of, like, you know, to kickstart it, or, you know, to bring a different, you know, from another direction type thing. Probably is. Probably is. But you know, at the end of the day, you gotta write the damn book. You know. Sunday mornings, guys. Sunday mornings. I'm gonna start with Sunday mornings because I think as well that when because you hear like, you know, routine. I heard it from Joe. You know, routine's the best thing. Do it Monday to Friday. Treat it like a job. Sound advice. I think that if you launch yourself into that, and I'm not saying the advice is wrong by any means, but you can overexert yourself, you know, and have too higher expectations of yourself. So you try and do that, but you know, so suddenly, you know, like I'm just gonna do this, and you know, you can overkill it. You know, it's like if I tend to use this analogy quite a lot, but if you go to the gym every night, you'll overkill it. You know, if you go to the gym twice a week, you got more chance of going back because it's more of a novelty, and it's you know, you still got a routine there, and you'll still get benefit from it, but you're not forcing yourself to do it too much, and you know, you're not killing it for yourself. And the same can be with writing. Now, you can, you know, the more you do it, the more you'll be able to do it, and so you can add, yeah, take it to their own place exactly. So you can add things to it. You know, I do it Sundays. I'll do it on Wednesdays as well, you know, and then suddenly you're doing it Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, and you know, you're doing it more, but you're not setting yourself unrealistic goals. You know, you're easing your way into it. And if you only write once a week, then it's once a week more than you were writing before.